I want to start off with a little pro hoops discussion. I actually want to start in the MNBA, the Men's National Basketball Association, because individual scoring has been on a surge in the NBA lately. In the past few years, definitely, but just this past couple weeks, we've had Donovan Mitchell with 71, Luka's 60-point triple double. 50-point performances are like old news. Like Lauri Markkanen put up 49 last night, and
Yeah.
who cares? Like it didn't even make the lead in Sports Center. So all these buckets from the MNBA are really getting us excited for the W this summer. Of course, women's hoops we know is usually more noted for defense. Liz Cambage and Raquina Williams had the only two 50-point games in league history, 53 and 51. No one else has ever cracked 50. But I don't know about you guys, but I think this next generation of hoopers is coming to score. And one of our favorite Twitter accounts, Just Women's Sports, posted a prompt tweet that got us thinking, when is the first 60 ball coming in the W, and who's it coming from, more importantly? I think this is a great question because every level of basketball is moving towards scoring, scoring, scoring. And I think the W is bound to follow at some point.
hmm
So I want to open up to you guys. Who do you think is going to have the first 60-point game in WNBA history?
Alrighty. Well, I started by looking at players in the league right now because why can't they do it? So the first person that came up when I'm looking at high
Oh,
usage volume scorers is Brianna Stewart. Her name pops up a lot. So
yeah,
if she stays in Seattle, I think she's got a decent shot this year. With how that team's going to look completely different with
right.
Sue Bird gone. Gabby Williams might stay in France. Who knows what's going on? Half their team's gone. She'll be the focus of that offense.
Hmm.
I think she's got a good shot. Another person I look at very Luca-like is Sabrina.
Yep.
Very Luca-like in her play style. I think that offense really runs through her too. So she's got a good shot. Um, Another person, this is more of a flyer pick. Kalia Copper, Philly legend.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Candace and the rest of the Sky Walk because that whole team is in free agency right now, or will be in like 2 weeks. Um, it depends what happens there, but if Kalia Copper is the only one left, she might have a shot. She's a high efficiency volume scorer. She gets more touches right there with Candace and everyone else gone. I think there's
Hmm.
a real shot for her to do it.
I will jump on that in terms of current players. I think easily Sabrina Ionescu is my favorite. I think when
Yeah.
it comes to anything individual stats based, like she will be the next person to do it. She already has, is it as many triple doubles as every other player in the history of the league?
Yeah.
Something like I should have written it down, but she's a triple double machine. She's a scoring machine. I think if she focuses less on the assists for a night and goes to taking the shots herself, I think she could put up 60 easy. And you mentioned it's tough with the 10-point quarters. It's really hard to
Yeah.
put up 60 points in 40 minutes. So hopefully, I think with all the new rule changes they're adding, I hope that they will move to 12 or eventually 15-minute quarters. But as it stands right now, I think if you need that much scoring in that short of a time, I'm betting on Sabrina Ionescu. And I think that she'll have the highest single game output this season, whatever that is. If that's 50, if that's 55, we'll see this season. I think Asia Wilson is another easy answer. The two-time MVP. I think they like to just feed her down low, and there's really no center that can go up against her, I feel.
Mhm.
Maybe Brianna Stewart, but she's more of like a stretch five. I think Asia
Yeah.
Wilson is the best like pure center in the league. So if they really wanted to, like they're a good shooting team, so they don't need to feed her every single possession. But if they wanted to, they could get it down to her every single possession and get a lot of buckets out of her.
Yeah. I
60 is
saw,
the
oh, sorry.
but
I saw Asia Wilson when I was looking, but I think it's going to be hard for her, especially with like Chelsea, Chelsea Gray and Kelsey Plum already locked up with her.
right,
So that core is pretty locked up. So I feel like, yeah, they really have to focus on her.
right, which is a good thing. Like you don't want to need 60 points from your
Yeah.
star. Like the fact that Luka is scoring 50 points a game this month is not it's not a good thing for Dallas. Like definitely you want to have more balanced scoring. What do you think about or Kate, did you want to add do you have any
I had I had both Sabrina and Aja and actually Brianna. So we all seem to do the same research, but I think any of them could easily do it. I was looking at Sabrina's stats and she had, I think I counted right, 5 games with over 30 points in the 22 season, which is incredibly impressive and the highest I saw, or the most amount I saw
Mhm.
for games. And I think she has a really good chance for it.
Yeah,
She's my
I
top
think
pick.
she's
Hmm.
probably the best, in my opinion, probably the best pure scorer right now. As
Yeah.
long as she can stay healthy and play a full season, which I really hope to see this year.
Yeah, that offense in New York is like the Harden Rockets offense where they just give it to her
Yeah.
and let her do something. Let Sabrina cook.
Right. It's a Steph Dolson rebound, beat Sabrina. Steph Dolson, sit Sabrina every
Yep.
single time. What about do you have any college players that you have in mind that might, because it might take a little while for us to
Yeah.
get to a longer game. Some college players might be there by that time.
Yeah, I think when you're talking about this level of scoring, you're really talking about the college players coming in.
Hmm.
Obviously, Caitlin Clark,
Definitely.
big
Definitely.
name here in this conversation. Can't
Yes.
believe it took us. I mean, she's the first one off the board here, but she's the one. If you're looking for this level of scoring, she's the one that immediately pops in your head. Um, I like AZ Fudd if she can get on a team that's her. Like we saw her with the UConn team where she's leading it.
Yeah.
Um, but that UConn team still has such a level of talent and she's still putting up like 20, 25. So I think she is a good shot. She's a very efficient volume scorer in college. I think there's a good shot there. Um,
Definitely. I think if AZ can get on a team where she's, stands out as the star because she's surrounded by so much talent, I think they just spread out the ball because there are so many scorers.
yeah,
If she's on a
exactly.
team where she's like the number one, if she ends up being the number one pick in a couple years or a top pick, I think she could
Yeah.
be carrying.
Yeah, she'll benefit from being in the lottery. Most
Definitely.
most most players you want to see them go to a good team.
Definitely.
Not saying that I don't, but another one that I'm really loving in her game lately is Angel Reese.
Yes.
If she could stretch the floor even a little bit, she's such a force. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't see anyone stopping her.
Right. I think a big thing with all these players is like, can they balance out their game a little bit more and like
Yep.
shoot threes and get points in the paint? Because that's the high scoring in the NBA that we're seeing is so many guys who have either started out as bigs and developed a three or started out as shooters and learned to drive to the hoop a little bit more. I think
Mhm.
in women's basketball, sometimes they separate a little bit so that the shooters stay shooters and the bigs stay bigs. But
Yeah.
like I said, this new generation of hoopers coming up, they transcend position. So we could definitely see big shooting threes, three ball shooters driving to the rim. I think that's going to be good for scoring. And
Mhm.
hopefully, I think I'm hoping for a 40-point game this year. And then
Yeah.
maybe we'll get lucky and get a 50, and then we'll build up towards that 60 ball. But eventually, someone's going to get there. And I'm excited to see that when it happens. Scoring is exciting,
Yeah.
especially when you're betting overs.